Hello, this is Mike with Old Crow Cornhole, and today I have a review for you. It's a review of the Dirty Draggin by Draggin Bags. This is a company that I'm not particularly familiar with. I haven't really thrown any of their bags prior to getting this bag. And just to say up front, I paid my own money for this bag. This is not a bag that I was, or not a review motivated by getting a free set of bags from the company or anything like that. And so this is 100% my own money, my own opinion, all of that, just so you know. But this is my first set of bags that I've gotten from Draggin Bags, and I got it primarily because I wanted to try one of these herringbone carpet bags. I've thrown Wizards some at blind draws and switches, but I hadn't really had a chance to throw them a lot. But I did like them when I got a chance to throw herringbone bags. They're kind of slightly slower than the bags I typically throw, so they're kind of a good bag for me when the conditions are a little fast. So if I want to just step it down just a little bit from the Sub-Zero glaciers that I normally throw, that throw like a 5.5 or a 6, these seem like they're labeled a 6, but to me they actually feel like they're more like a 5, a solid 5, which is good. They make them a slightly slower than my glaciers, so they're good that way, as a little bit of a slower bag than what I typically throw. So template wise, this is going to be a medium template, pretty solid right in the middle. I didn't do any measurements on it, but it looks like it's pretty right down the middle. So if you like that this is a good medium size template. And the feel of the bag is it's a little bit fuller. So if you don't like a big floppy bag, you'll probably like this, or at least it will be within the range of fullness that you would like, or you can tolerate. And so it's a little bit on the fuller side. It's not a total puffball or anything like that like some bags get to be, but it's definitely slightly on the fuller side. So with that in mind, these things do move up the board nice. They're not slow whatsoever, and you'll see here in this video, you'll see several instances where you catch a nice, just the edge of the hole there, and they spin right on in, and then you get the airmail drag. But the one thing that is a little confusing is they do seem to bunge up a little bit more than I was expecting, but I think that's not necessarily the fault of Draggin Bags or these particular bags in general. I think it's just herringbone is not quite as hole friendly as Viper R material bags like the Glacier, or even the materials like I think the Wintertide is made out of a slightly different carpet than the Viper R's, but I think it's a similar thing there where the herringbone might be just a slight bit less hole friendly. The other thing is this is a little bit fuller bag than some of these other bags I throw too, so a fuller bag is probably going to bunch up a little bit more in a hole as well, but it's not a real big problem. It's just something you kind of expect when you got a fuller bag sometimes. So as far as cutting and rolling goes, I am not a master of cutting and rolling. I'm a pretty solid 7 to 8 PPR player depending on the night. Sometimes I'm worse than that, but if I'm throwing decent, I'm throwing somewhere between a 7 and an 8. So I don't have like a great roll bag or anything, and I don't usually even try to throw it in competition. But I imagine somebody that can would be able to roll these pretty easy. They're not going to be the easiest bag to roll because they are a little on the quicker side. They're not like Vikings or anything that kind of slow. But if you can roll bags, you could probably roll this fine. And cut wise, you can definitely cut with this. I can do a decent amount of cutting, and I can get a cut going with these bags pretty well. So maybe a little harder on the roll side than some other bags, but it'll definitely a cuttable bag. And the thing I really like about them is the feel you have in your hand. These bags just feel really, really nice in the hand. They have a real soft feel once you get them broken in. Now, as I'm throwing them in this video, all I've done with these bags is I just soak them in hot water with just a little splash of Woolite. And so I hot water Woolite, and I set it just set it to soak for about an hour. And then I rinse them out really well until there's no more bubbles out. And I dry them off between some towels. And then I throw them in the dryer for about an hour to an hour and a half with no heat. And that gets them probably about 80% broken in. And now I threw these for about an hour and a half outside today, and now they're pretty much right in the sweet spot. So they don't really take a ton of break-in. So these are definitely right in the sweet spot now, and I think they'll be going into my rotation as of bags. Like I said, I throw Glaciers now as one of my primary bags. I also like Tempest, and now I'll be throwing these Dirty Dragons in there because they'll be getting some play too. So I don't really have a lot of other bags I can compare these to, just because I don't throw a lot of herringbone bags. So from people that I have spoken to, it sounds like they say Wizard is probably the closest thing. I think one other bag I have thrown that's also a herringbone is the Black Flag Treasure, but I would say this is a slightly bigger template than that, and that one's a little bit smaller, a little bit more puffy than this. So yeah, so workmanship though, if I'm looking at the bag here, it looks like their closing seam, looks like they run a close all the way across it and then come back and finish in the middle, which is different. It doesn't really affect play or anything, and it doesn't look bad or anything. It's just something I don't notice that other manufacturers are doing. They have a nice tight closing seam, so it's not really noticeable in your hand. The seams are all good, as you would expect. And yeah, the print on the bag is really well done. They look great. I really like this red, white, and blue pattern on it, and the big claw over the DB. And it's a gripper. It says gripper series. I don't really understand what that is. I don't know if that's this particular print that they use. This particular design is called the gripper series, or what exactly that means. But it says gripper series on it. And yeah, so it's a well-made bag, but a lot of companies, there's not too many companies that make a garbage quality bag these days, but it's something to note that at least they do make good quality bags, in case you're curious if you've never had anything to do with this company before, but they're definitely made well. And I know that they're probably most Draggin Bag is probably most noticed for their Power Draggin bags, which is more of a, from my understanding, a Viper R variant. I have not thrown that one, I don't think, as of yet. But this company definitely has a name out there that's known among a lot of people. A lot of people throw their bags. Just not a lot locally in my area that I can see. I only know like one or two people that I think throw these bags. But it seems like a lot of cornhole bags, it's more of, they can be a regional thing. So like around here in Minnesota, we have Sub-Zero is like everywhere. You can't go to any blind draw and not be throwing Sub-Zero bags probably at least half of the games, which is fine. They make really great bags too, but it's just to say, just because I don't see them around here does not mean that they're not popular. And overall, I would say if I was rating this on a scale of 1 to 10 for overall playability, I would say it's a solid 8. It will not bounce too much. It won't kick too much, but it will stay true. But you can still cut with it and roll with it if you need to. Feel, I would give this a 9 out of 10 on feel. It feels really good in the hand. And looks, I'd give it also a 9 out of 10 on looks. So overall, to me, this is a really good bag. I really like it. And it will definitely be seeing some play in my near future here. Probably next league night or next whatever next event I go to. I'll definitely be trying to throw these in some live action. So that's what I have for you here today. Hopefully this helps you make a decision about a bag that you want to buy. And thanks for watching, and I appreciate you tuning in. Bye.